If you have chronic illnesses, all kinds of things like diabetes, heart disease, fibromyalgia, lupus, what are all the different things we could name here? Or if you're completely out of shape, or maybe you're blind, this is the Health and Fitness Motivation Podcast for you, which surprisingly is the majority of us. I'm Lindbergh, your host and owner of Couch to Active. And today we are going to continue our series called 3 Days. If this is the first podcast you've heard, head on back. We've got one on alcohol, DOMS, nutrition, hydration. Make sure you listen to all those. And today we're going to look at sleep. Okay. We all know we need to sleep. We all know, we know. So that's not what this is about. This is sleep in the context of today, right now, I feel lower energy than normal. Today, I feel less motivation to do all the health and fitness things than normal. And my normal bar is pretty low anyway. What you want to do is start ticking through all of these 3-day checklists, the alcohol, the DOMS, the nutrition, the hydration. Now check through sleep. This is your next one. Look back at the last 3 days of your life and ask yourself, how has my sleep been for the last 3 days? Has it been messed up? Has it been good? Has it been horribly terrible? If you can point to messy, bad, horrible sleep, and I know, we want to keep it positive. We don't want to call things good or bad, but whatever. Okay. If you have a bad night's sleep, it's a bad night's sleep. Look back. If you know that, then that gives you something to point at and say, okay, I slept bad for 3 days. No wonder why I'm not having that much energy or motivation today. Now, the solution for sleep is a whole nother huge ball of wax. And if you have sleep issues, chronic sleep issues, my heart goes out to you because I personally don't have sleep issues. Thank freaking God, because I can count on one hand how many nights in a year that I have trouble sleeping. And those nights that I have trouble sleeping are horrible. They feel like torture. Like, oh my gosh. And maybe that's not your experience if you have bad sleep. But if that's your experience, wow. Now, some of us have bad sleep all the time, and that just feels normal. So here's the catch-22 we get caught in. We get so used to sleeping bad that we feel like this whole bad sleep thing is normal. But then when we have even worse sleep and we feel worse than normal, we're just kind of doomed. Like, our bodies need to sleep. I mean, our bodies need to sleep so much that we will do crazy things if we get sleep deprived in order to sleep. I mean, I just interviewed on another podcast of mine, Daniel Mollicone, and he does basically sleep and fatigue research for companies, like people for the military. They fly the stealth bombers, and hospitals where they work 40-hour shifts and all this. And one of the stories he told me out of his research was he was talking about somebody in Mount Everest who was the first person to climb Mount Everest, and not to climb Mount Everest, but to climb Mount Everest unassisted with oxygen. And he was told that sleep on the way down from summiting Mount Everest, your sleep drive will be so strong that it will kind of take over everything. But that if you fall asleep on your descent from Mount Everest, you will die. So he went in doing this climb, knowing this, and on his way back down, climbing Everest, he had the overpowering urge to sleep so bad, and he knew that if he fell asleep, he was going to die. And he had a family at home. He had kids. But the urge to sleep was so overwhelming that he had decided that it was okay if he died. He was going to just lay up there on the mountain and take a little nap. And he knew that meant he would die, and he would not do this huge world record for climbing Everest. His family would never see him. Like, he knew all that logically in his head, but he was going to he decided that's okay. I'm going to take a nap anyway. Now, the crazy thing with this guy is right about that time, as the story goes, he came across another dead hiker from a couple of years ago, because on Everest, they can't really exhume the people who've died up there. It's just the conditions are too harsh. He came across this hiker that he knew, who had apparently been a friend, and it startled him. And that woke him up being startled, and that adrenaline woke him up enough that he didn't go and take that nap that he had decided to do. So like, oh my gosh. And then he lived. Crazy story, but just an example of how freaking powerful sleep is in our lives. And if we don't get the sleep we need, that hippocampus, did I even say that right? In your brain takes over and makes us do things that aren't good decisions and are more destructive. So when we aren't sleeping well, we literally aren't as able to make good decisions around food and staying on top of hydration and deciding to show up for that exercise class, even if we aren't feeling it, and being loving towards the people around us, and having the capacity to think beyond ourselves. Sleep is huge, and we know this. So when you have a day where your motivation just sucks, look back at all these different things: sleep, alcohol, DOMS, nutrition, hydration. Look at the last 3 days of sleep, not just last night, but 3 days, and say, how has my sleep been? And what can I do for the next upcoming 3 days to catch up on my sleep? Because it usually takes an average healthy person a good 3 days of good sleep to really feeling better. And once you really get feeling better with your sleep, you'll be amazed. You'll seriously, when people say, I feel like a whole new person, that's because you are. Your brain is actually functioning better. Now, some of us with chronic illness, sleep is kind of a bigger deal. I mean, when I was dealing with both my lung issues, fibromyalgia, and my collagenous colitis all at the same time, I had literally 3 months where I had to sleep. That's a whole different topic. And that's where the chronic illness things get more complicated. But you get it. If you got chronic illness, you're with me. You get it. These things are complicated. And I literally slept for 11 hours a night, or 12 or 13 hours a night. And then I would take a 3-hour nap every single day. And I would sleep hard through all of it because my body just needed it. And eventually, working on all these things together, my body worked itself to where now I am where I am, which is a pretty awesome place to be. I love it. And I'm doing my damnedest to keep it. But if I had not had sleep be part of the equation and staying on top of my sleep, I know the whole castle would crumble. So there you go, friends. Take a look at your sleep the past 3 days. Plan for good sleep for the next 3 days, knowing that your body doesn't, you can't necessarily control it. Have compassion for yourself for that. And see if this could be one more of the missing links to help you with your health and fitness motivation. Alrighty, friends, if you're new to Couch to Active, head on over to couchtoactive.com, our homepage right there. You'll see it. It says Start Now, Step 1. Click on that button to start now, and we will get you up and running on your next best step to not just be listening to these podcasts, because I know I got a smooth voice, right? But to actually get this implemented in your life so you can have the success, so you can go from frumpy and tired and blah all the time to feeling better than you have in years and years and years. Alrighty, head on over there, couchtoactive.com.